Alright, Mr. Stotko here, and welcome back to another Warcraft 3 replay cast. Today it's a 1 vs 1 on Amazonia between our blue human player, Show Me Your Mind. Not on the bottom, we have our red orc player, Grubby. And I guess this is part of the continuation of a probably recontinuation of continuing my bulk Grubby replays that I had saved. I think I have 8 left. I think a few of them are like 7 minutes and 9 minutes, so sort of the riffraff is left, I suppose. But this one is not a particularly short game. I suppose an average length. And we will speed it on up
Job done.
to the 2-minute point of the game, and all the heroes come out, all the good stuff starts happening. Gonna be a Farseer for Grubby first, and which is not too uncommon in some of the replays that I have casted lately.
Ready for action.
But it's an uncommon choice overall. Circlet of Nobility or Show Me Your Mind, and dual creeping at the same time there. Gonna picking up that Circlet, and a Mantle of Intelligence +3 also drops. So now +5 damage on the Archmage already, and a whole mess more of mana as well. So not a bad start at all for the Archmage. Archmage's gonna kill off his own peasant. You traitorous swine. And Archmage gets a good chunk of experience, 50, and not quite equivalent to the Archmage though, at level 2 already.
Ready to work.
And Arcane Tower coming up in Show Me Your Mind's base. Gonna try and chase down the Archmage a little bit, but not really gonna happen. And we'll surround a Footman and get the kill. But take some damage in the process. And so far, Show Me Your Mind doing pretty alright, especially with that drop. I do kind of like that drop. 5 damage. Get some intelligence out of it, get some mana regen out of it. Not too bad. Certainly could have worse dropped for that sort of creep camp.
Are under attack.
And Staff of Teleportation purchased for the Farseer. But as I was saying earlier, I think I have 8 left that I have saved, that I have uncasted, and a couple of them are really short, so I was thinking about putting in, you know, some bonus replays, maybe some amateur replays in there that look pretty good, maybe some off-meta play, just so you guys don't get a 7-minute replay, just basically done in the blink of an eye. Taskmaster camp left over here, some illusion footmen. So there is a big pile of footmen, and unfortunately Grubby going after the illusions, and probably realized that rather quickly. And Grant's gotta watch out, gonna get one surrounded, and that wasn't good. And we'll finish off the water elemental, but unfortunately loses a grunt, which is not really a good trade. A couple watchtowers coming up at Grubby's base, fearing the worst is coming here. And a Demolisher is on the way. And of course spike barricades as well, to try and stop some of these footmen. So it's like Grubby is already playing the defensive this game, kind of odd. And then he assumes he's going to be assaulted, and will be on the back side of that, so it's getting spike barricades already. Which is an upgrade usually reserved for those thinking they're about to get all jacked up. And against ghouls in particular. If your opponent has a lot of ghouls, of course spike barricades are really, really good against ghouls. Pretty good against footmen too. It's the ghouls, of course, a little lower health. And a Spirit Lodge is on the way as well. Unfortunately, this watchtower is a little vulnerable. The entire base on the right side is a little vulnerable overall. Pretty easy to get in there. And I kind of would like to see maybe the Watchtower Burrow switched, but I
Under
suppose
attack.
an eye for an eye. Gonna go after the Taskmaster camp here for Show Me Your Mind at level 3. Wand of Illusion, Tome of Agility, so another Wand of Illusion. So I'm gonna make an Illusion Archmage there. And we'll move it on into the base. And Claws of Attack +6 for Grubby. And definitely not bad at all. Goblin Shredder is out. But Grubby may have to town portal out of this one.
Job done.
And depending on how this setup here works, Tome of Intelligence is going to be free stuff for the Archmage. Trying to get that Goblin Shredder down. And he had it harvesting lumber at the time, so therefore it didn't town portal that harvester out of there. And so the Shredder stays in essentially the base if it is harvesting lumber, and does not actually get teleported when doing some kind of harvest method like that. Interesting, and a bad mistake on Grubby's part, because those Goblin Shredders aren't necessarily cheap. Gonna kill off his own water elemental there. Man, big mistake. Another Mantle of Intelligence on the ground too. Should be really great to stack that on the Archmage even further. 8 intelligence, sure, why not? And now Tauren Chieftain out for Grubby, which I'm not sure the best option. As the Tauren Chieftain starts out pretty low damage overall. Shockwave does a good chunk, but of course level 1 skill of just about anything other than Frost Nova and I suppose to some degree Stormbolt. And a few other skills in the game, I guess. I'm not going to sit here and name them all, but I think Frost Nova does one of the most in the game at level 1. I think it's like 125, including with the... Or is it 150? I'm not sure these days.
Alright, who wants some?
Who knows? And a Mountain King out. I'm sure a lot of people know, actually. Mountain King out
Upgrade complete.
for Show Me Your Mind. And the base of Show Me Your Mind going along pretty well here. Griffin Aviary. And an Arcane Sanctum. And the castle is about halfway completed. Grubby picks up the Mantle of Intelligence.
Job's done.
And I'm moving along to the Sasquatch camp at the Goblin Merchant.
Forces are under attack.
And an Illusion Archmage is moving on into the base of Grubby.
Job's done.
And looks like Show Me Your Mind is attacking the other Sasquatch camp. Gets a Wand of Illusion. And for Grubby, going to be a replenishment potion.
Our forces are under attack.
The flows of magic are whimsical today.
And Grubby clears the camp. Mountain King already sporting a potion of healing. Never a bad idea.
Job's done.
And being the level 1 champion that he is, with a little low health and low armor. Or level 1,
Upgrade complete.
of course. Not a bad idea to have a potion. And Grubby going after the Rockholm camp, but one grunt gets left behind. And pulls it out a little bit there. But the trappers seem uninterested in the grunt, except for this guy here. He'll get on it. And Stormbolt hits the Tauren Chieftain. Tauren Chieftain in trouble. Scroll of Speed. Come on out of there. That was a quick draw Shockwave. And looks like all the grunts got out, I think. Not sure what happened. As I was watching all the quick draw Shockwave action. And Tauren Chieftain in pretty big trouble here. Mountain King has enough for a Stormbolt. The potion of healing, though, keeps that Tauren Chieftain alive. And Grubby going Tauren again. And every time I see Grubby going Tauren, it just never really works out all that well. I've certainly seen him win games with Tauren in them that he has, but it seems Tauren just attack too slow. Their damage is just really, really low. It's so it seems. As they attack so slow. You can see it's kind of on par with a Grunt, but really it's not honestly that much more. Really their Pulverize ability that starts to add up some damage, that AoE damage, but Tauren, I guess, just not my favorite in terms of the heavy melee. This is the idea again. I always do it. Melee. I say melee, and I know it's melee, but you know, one of those forced reactions, I guess. One of those
I live to serve.
kind of burned into my mind that way somehow. How? I don't know.
It's hammer time.
And Demolisher is now on the base. And Burning Oil as well. However, a whole mess of Griffin Riders are now here, and they will auto-gib these Demolishers. They have heavy armor, take extra damage from the magic that is already pretty high, and that is definitely not looking good for Grubby. Lack of scouting for Grubby. This is what you get when you don't scout. And you don't see that there's a Griffin Aviary. Double Griffin Aviaries working here. Double rainbows. And Stormhammer's coming now as well.
It's hammer time.
And so 2 by 2 the Griffins are coming out. And now Grubby's going to have a really hard time transitioning. Going into Troll Headhunters. But he's going to have to research Berserker upgrade, which doesn't take very long, as you can see. And so does the Regeneration upgrade. I think that one upgrades really fast, too. It seems Headhunters are just meant to be fast overall. The Tauren will go down really quickly as well, and these Griffins will be aiming, if they're clever, at the Tauren. And you can see the Tauren just really can't take the heat at all. Just a few waves of attacks there. Tauren goes down like a sack of bricks, like a bad habit in a pond. And Farseer gonna make it out? Does. Tauren Chieftain, however, may not be so lucky. Mountain King doesn't have enough for a Stormbolt. We'll be able to hold off for a little while there. And now the Burrow not doing too good. End up losing said Burrow. And we can take a look at Grubby here real quick. Might switch the colors on us because it's Warcraft 3 and 32 of 50. So not doing too bad, really. And didn't really need that Burrow, just some extra defense and preparation, I suppose. And now the Voodoo Lounge gone. Definitely not good as well. Gonna have to make another one back here, maybe. And with only one barracks, not really gonna be able to make Headhunters fast enough to deal with all of these Griffin Riders, including the heroes as well. And Chain Lightning hits on the Griffin Riders, but does not a lot. And got a second Berserker out, but only has 3 so far. And while Berserkers build pretty quickly, just one barracks really isn't going to cut it. All of these Griffins, unless he can just save a lot of time here, which he kind of is. He did save that barracks. And the peons will have it fully healed here shortly. Action, Slow Jackson, Mud Golems fall. And now it is just the Rock Golem left. Immune, though. And a little hard for those Griffins to hit immune things. And Grubby looks like he's going after the Rock Golem cape here. Just going to pull the Rock Golems. And going to leave the Granite Golem for a moment. No, going to go after the Granite Golem as well. Granite Golem decides that he was a bit pissed. And probably because he's purple. I guess I'm not bashing on the color purple, but he doesn't like... The Granite Golem doesn't like purple. And he's purple. He doesn't really like his life because he's purple. Wants a color change. Can't afford it.
Our forces are under attack. It's hammer time.
He's just not happy with it. He's just not happy with his body, let's just say. He just doesn't feel happy inside. Doesn't feel fulfilled. He's a gray golem living in a purple body. That's how it is, I guess. I'm just making things up at this point. There's not a lot to talk about except for creeping, so that's when I start to make things up. The Renegade Wizard Camp. We go down there. Boots of Kel'Thalas. And Shadowhunter will pick that up, but not that great. And Rock Golem Camp will go down here. Griffins, again, just gonna hang out, fly above it, and let everybody else do all the work. Mud, Action, Jackson, Slow Golems. Fall down pretty quickly as well. And the Griffins are pretty intimidating now, not upgraded. And I feel that that could be a pretty easy thing. There we go. Starting to upgrade the armor at least. Feral Spirit gonna spy what's going on. Was about to go after the Renegade Wizard Camp there, but decided against it. And Show Me Your Mind will actually have a somewhat difficult time with the Granite Golem Camp, as the majority of his damage is entirely magic, would do absolutely nothing to these golems, so it would be hard to do with just heroes and essentially, well, even them they couldn't attack either because they do magic damage, so it would be just heroes, so he's going to be completely avoiding that camp, more than likely. And now Grubby's Berserker army starting to look pretty good, but I still would like to see a second barracks if he thinks he could afford it, which he probably cannot, as I'd imagined he would have gotten one had that been the case. Just so that he can make these a little bit faster. He's going to start losing them here pretty quickly once the battle starts going, and if he can actually just replace them at a very quick speed, then he may be able to remain in the game pretty well. Level 1 armor and level 1 attack, all good to go. And gold mines also good to go as well. But about 1,300-ish gold in the gold mines left. Sabi Mask for Show Me Your Mind. So Show Me Your Mind getting the better items overall. The Archmage eventually sold his Circle of Nobility and the Mantle of Intelligence apparently earlier, which I didn't catch, but overall I'd say Show Me Your Mind has gotten a bit better on the items. Grubby kind of got screwed over with the Crystal Ball, which is an absolutely terrible, terrible item. It's situationally good at best. And Shadowhunter will go down here pretty quickly, and that is a ton of damage. All the Griffins focusing down heroes. And the Farseer will go down as well, and that looks like that's probably going to be the end of Grubby. Question mark. And does look like that's the case. Looks like all the heroes for Show Me Your Mind still alive. Not going to be able to do it with just the Tauren Chieftain and the remaining Berserkers, even if the Griffins all died magically from the plague at once. So a pretty good game. I think Grubby just made a few mistakes in that game that he got a Grunt unnecessarily surrounded, I believe, and then the Shredder accident. Also, no expansion. Expansion would have been nice. And I suppose you could equally say that for Show Me Your Mind as well. But I think the main thing that Grubby did in that game was simply not scout. Didn't see that Griffin Aviary. If he'd seen that Griffin Aviary a long time ago, he probably could have made a Bestiary, maybe some unstable concoction, Bat Riders on those Griffins, you know, even perhaps to some degree Wind Riders, or just plain and simple more Berserkers faster, possibly higher upgraded, possibly more Berserkers. And maybe different hero choices too, who knows. But hope you guys enjoy this game, and I will see you guys next time.